Hello gems! Welcome to A series. A new journey is starting today. No new marker references here. A new journey for 12th standard. Okay, so here at A series we are starting our first 12th standard chapter, which is semiconductors. Okay, why semiconductors first? Because some of you requested for it. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, we have already finished the 11th standard version of A series. A series is basically a BITSAT previous year chapter wise discussion. Okay, so if you have missed the 11th standard lectures, you can go check out the description box. Without a further ado, let's begin today's class. So question 1 and 2 over here from our new journey from the super easy category. Those who don't know about this, we begin with the super easy category. We go to the easy category, easy, moderate, moderate. Okay, so baby steps from the simplest question of the day to the toughest question. Okay, so anyways, let's come to question 1, which is from 2011. In a diode, barrier potential opposes. Okay, so let's analyze a diode over here. Okay, a p-n junction. In p region, the majority charge carriers are the holes, right? And in the n region, the majority charge carriers are the electrons. Now due to diffusion, some of the holes will flow from the p region to the n region, and some of the electrons likewise will diffuse from n region to p region, right? And there will be a negative charge at the junction in the p region, right, due to diffusion, and here there will be a positive charge due to diffusion, right? And due to these charges there is a potential which is created, which is nothing but the barrier potential, right? This is very basic, you'll all know it. Now due to that potential, you can see a field over there, right, which is from the positive to negative. Field will be, the direction of the field will be from positive to negative, or from n region to p region. Okay, now let's find the influence of this field on holes and electrons. Okay, so let's consider a hole in the p region. Now this hole in the p region wants to diffuse into the n region, right? But in order to do that, it has to go against the field, right? The field is opposing its motion, because if you see, holes are positively charged, right? So in order to go from p to n, it has to go against the field. Okay, and here let's analyze it for an electron in the n region. Now for an electron, the electron likes to go against the field, right? Electrons are negatively charged, so they like to go against the field. But here the electron wants to, first of all, the electron wants to diffuse from n region to p region, right? Electrons like to go against the field. Those are the 2 points over here. But here the electron has to travel with the field in the direction of the field in order to reach the p region. Okay, I hope you're getting my point. I want to say that in both the cases, the field due to this, okay, the field due to the charges over there is opposing the motions of holes in p region and electrons in n region. And if you know, holes in p region are majority charge carriers, electrons in n region are also majority charge carriers, and this field, which is due to the potential barrier, is opposing the majority carriers in both regions, right? It's opposing the motion of it's opposing the motion of holes in the p region and electrons in the n region. Okay, so option C, the potential barrier opposes the motion of majority charge carriers in both the region. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now in question 2, transistor is used as a switch. Okay, this is a very factual one. You are given the graph of output voltage versus input voltage, which is divided into 3 regions. You are supposed to find a region in which transistor will act as a switch. Okay, very factual one. You should be ready with your answer in 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is option D. Okay, transistor will act as a switch in region 1 as well as in region 3. If you know, region 2 is active region in which transistor is used as an amplifier. In region 1 and region 3, transistor is used as a switch. Okay, here it's on and here it's off. Okay, the very factual one, you should know it by heart. Let's move to the next set of questions. So question 3 and 4 over here. Question 3 is again a fact based question. So in this question from 2007, you are asked, in a common base configuration, the phase difference between the input and the output voltage is. Okay, you should be ready with your answer in 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is option A. Okay, there is no phase difference, or the phase difference is 0 between the input and the output voltage in a common base configuration. Okay, some of you might have gone wrong saying that the phase difference is pi. It will be pi in case of common emitter configuration. Okay, keep that in mind, that common base configuration, the input and the output voltage are in phase, and in common emitter configuration they are out of phase by pi. Okay, nice way to remember is remembering CBIN, Central Bank of India, or you might just say common base in phase. Okay, common base in phase, you can remember it that way. So there is no phase difference between the input and the output voltage, which means phase difference is 0. Okay, let's come to question 4 now. In this question you can see that it's formula based, right? Base current is given, emitter current is given, you are supposed to find the collector current. Why is such an easy question? Okay, so you'll know the relation that emitter current equals collector current plus base current, right? From here you can simply find the collector current. It will be emitter current minus base current, emitter current minus base current, 90 minus 1, 89 milliampere. Option B is the correct choice. Okay, let's step up the level now. Let's go to the easy category now. Okay, so over to the next question. So question 5 over here from the easy category now. Now in this easy category, we are majorly going to focus on transistor based questions. Okay, questions wherein you are asked voltage gain, power gain, current gain, also output voltage, input voltage, and things like that. Okay, so in question 5 you are asked for voltage gain, and the input resistance is given, output resistance is also given, beta, the current gain is also given. Okay, this is C configuration, find the voltage gain. Now some of you might directly know the formula that voltage gain will be power gain is beta into RO, the output resistance, by the input resistance. Okay, some of you might directly know that formula, go ahead and apply it, you will reach the correct answer. But for those who don't know the formula, or those who have hard time by hearting the formula, here is something for you. Okay, so in order to do transistor based question, you just need to know this one thing and a little bit of logic. Okay, so I want you to remember this one thing, that gain is output by input, right? Gain is output by input. Okay, for those who have hard time remembering the formula. Okay, so gain is output by input. Now it's voltage gain, so it's output voltage by input voltage. Okay, so for voltage gain it will be output voltage VO by VI, right? VO you can simply write it as IO by IO into RO, right? IR, V is equal to IR, and here also you can write I input into R input. Now this I output by I input is nothing but the current gain, right? Output by input, but here it is current, right? Output by input, but here we have current, so this is nothing but current gain, and current gain is beta over here, right? So we reach the same formula over here, so no need to by heart it. If you know it already, it is very good. This is for somebody who have hard time by hearting it. Okay, so anyways, let's solve it. So VG will be beta 0.6 into the output resistance, which is 24 divided by 3, 3 8s 6 8s 48, 48, which means 4.8, right? So option C, 4.8 is the correct choice. Okay, this was a question from 2018. Let's practice more such type of questions. Okay, so question 6 over here, again from the same species of transistor based questions. Okay, so in this question you are given a CE configuration. In most of the question the configuration will be CE, okay, common emitter configuration. In this question you are also given the voltage gain, the input and output resistances. You are supposed to find the power gain. Now one straightforward approach for power gain is, power gain will be voltage gain into current gain, right? But here we don't have any idea about the current gain. So the approach that we are going to use over here is just the one that I taught you in the previous question. Okay, so the power gain over here will be nothing but, output power by input power, right? Gain is output by input, so power gain, output power by input power. Now the formula for power is VI. Okay, you can also express it in other ways like V square by R, And if you see, this one is the one that we are going to use over here, because we have some knowledge about the voltage gain and we also have knowledge about the resistances. Okay, so output power can be written as V naught square by RO, right? Output, this is output voltage, this is output resistance. Now input voltage can be written as just the reciprocal of that, so input resistance divided by input voltage square. Okay, so here we can write it as output voltage by input voltage the whole square into input resistance. Now just substitute the values. Input resistance is 100, output resistance is 200. You can see that output voltage by input voltage, this is nothing but voltage gain, right? Output voltage by input voltage is nothing but voltage gain, that is 50 square is 2500. Okay, and this will be half, right? 100 by 200, half, and here you'll have, so 125, 5 into 25 is 125 and 10, right? So 1250 is the correct answer. I hope the approach is very simple and easy. Okay, so let's move to the next question now. Question 7 over here. In this question you are asked for the output voltage. Now one more major difference in this question is that you are given the collector resistance. Okay, in place of saying that it is the output resistance or the input resistance, they have said it as collector resistance is so and so. So let me ask you, do you have difficulty in deciding whether a certain part is input or certain part is output? So let me handle it. Okay, so why did that sound like an ad? So anyways, let's come to the question now. So here we consider CE configuration and here we'll consider CB configuration. Okay, serious now. So I want you to note down this table if you are finding that difficulty in deciding whether a certain part is input or output. Okay, so in CE configuration the emitter is common, right? Common emitter configuration. The emitter is common, which means that it belongs to both input and output. It is common to input and output side, right? Now we are left with base and collector. Emitter is common, right? We are left with base and collector. So remember that collector, in this case the collector will be the output. Actually in both cases the collector will be the output, okay, and the base will be the input. And in CB configuration, common base configuration, now base is common, right? Base is common to both input and output side, which means base belongs to both the region. So we are left with the emitter and the collector. Okay, base is common, right? In CB configuration base is common, so we are left with emitter and collector. So as I said, collector is output. Okay, collector is output in both the cases, and the left part, which is the emitter in this case, now the emitter is input in this case. Okay, so note this table down somewhere so that you don't get confused to decide which part is input and which part is output. Okay, in CE configuration collector is output, base is input. In CB configuration collector again output and the emitter is input. Okay, you don't have CC configuration in your syllabus, which is common collector. You don't have that configuration, so remember this table, note this down somewhere, and the confusion is gone. I was supposed to say configuration is gone. Okay, now let's come to the question. So the whole point of doing this was to say that the collector resistance is nothing but the output resistance. Okay, so that was the only point of doing it. Now how to solve this question? How will you find the output voltage? Okay, so the approach might not be that straightforward, but I want you to look at this. See, input voltage is given and you are supposed to find the output voltage. So can we use the voltage gain formula, right? Input is given, so, and we are supposed to find output, right? So let's use the voltage gain formula, which says output voltage by input voltage, right? So you can write output voltage by input voltage equals output current into output resistance divided by input current into input resistance. Right, now just substitute the values. You can see that output current by input current is nothing but beta, right? And this is output resistance, input resistance. What are we supposed to find? We are supposed to find VO, which is the output voltage. So take this VI to the other side, input voltage, right? So just substitute the values now. So the values are 62 into output resistance, this the resistance of the collector, okay? So that is 5 into 10 to the power 3 into input voltage 0.01. I can write it as 10 to the power minus 2 divided by the input resistance. Input resistance is 500. Okay, so 5 into 10 to the power 2, this and this will get cancelled, and here we'll have 6, this will 10 and 10 minus plus 1 over here, plus 1, and here minus 2, plus 1 minus 2, that will be minus 1. So 62 into 10 to the power minus 1, that will be 6.2. So 6.2 volts. Okay, so option C, 6.2 volts is the correct answer. Okay, so here the approach, the idea was to use the formula for voltage gain. Okay, output voltage by input voltage. Note this table down, it is very, very important. Let's move to the next question now. So question 8 over here, this is the last transistor type question. Okay, so you may go ahead and pause this video and give this question a humble try. Okay, if you are able to solve this question, you have all what you need to solve a transistor based question. Okay, so let me just explain it in brief. You are given the collector voltage over here, the load resistance, the resistance of the base beta, the current gain factor is also given. You are supposed to find the input voltage. Okay, the configuration is C. You may pause the video and give this question a humble try. Okay, I'll do it in 3, 2, 1. I hope you have paused the video. If you have, how will you hear me? Okay, let's come to the question. So we can use the same approach that we applied in the previous question. Here you can see that the collector voltage in this case is nothing but the output voltage, right? In CE configuration, the collector in both the configuration CE and CB, the collector is the output, right? So this is nothing but the output voltage. So this is the output voltage, and base, wherever it's base, represents input, right? Base is in the input region over there. Okay, so here the output voltage is given, collector voltage is output voltage. So output voltage is given and we are asked for the input voltage. Okay, so again we can use the same idea that we used in the previous question, which is finding voltage gain. So voltage gain will be output voltage by input voltage, right? So output voltage, you can write it as IO, RO, IR, output, IR, input. Okay, so you can see that I output by I input, output current by input current is nothing but the current gain, right? Output current by input current will be nothing but beta, right? Now what will be the output resistance? The output resistance is the load resistance over here. Okay, in many cases the load resistance is referred to as output resistance. You might have seen it in your NCRT that you write RL in place of your output resistance. Okay, so the load resistance is nothing but the output resistance in our case, and the input resistance, since base is on the input side, here the input resistance will be the base resistance. Okay, now keep in mind that we have to find this input voltage over here, right? We want to find this input voltage, so cross this, so you'll get V input as VO into RB divided by beta RL, right? So just plug in the values, what is left, we'll get our answer over there. So VO is 2 into RB is 1 kilo ohm. I'll keep it in kilo ohms, this and this will get cancelled. Okay, and beta is 100. Here RB is, here we want RL, right? RL is 2, so kilo ohms get cancelled, 2 will cancel with that, and you'll get 10 to the power minus 2 volts. But the answers are there in millimeters, so I can do a wise thing. I'll multiply it with 10 and 10 to the power minus 1. I'll write it in this way. Okay, so I merged that 10 to the power minus 1 with this one, and I've written that 10 separately. Okay, you can multiply it again and you'll reach back over there. Now you can see that 10 to the power minus 3 volts is nothing but 1 millivolt. So that will give you, the answer is 10 millivolt. The input voltage is 10 millivolt. Okay, congratulations if you were able to do this question. Let's move to the next question now. Question 9 over here. In this question, you are given the combination of two gates, okay, in worded format. So you have to first of all draw the combination and then find what does the combination correspond to, okay, to what gate does the combination correspond. Okay, first draw the combination and then find out to what gate does the combination correspond. Is it a NOT gate, NOR gate, AND gate, or OR gate? Okay, so let's read the question. The output of OR gate is connected to both the inputs of NAND gate. Okay, so I can draw my OR gate over here. The output of OR gate, this is my OR gate. The output of OR gate is connected to both the inputs of NAND gate. So I can draw it this way, right? The output of OR gate is connected to both the inputs of NAND gate. Okay, so I just decoded it in this format. So this is the combination that we have. Now we are supposed to find to what gate does this combination correspond to. One way can be using 0 and 1. Okay, you'll just plug in 0 and 1 over here, look at the outputs over here, then compare with the gates and yeah, you'll find the answer, right? So that is a tedious method. What I'm going to use here is Boolean algebra. Okay, so I'll use A and B over here, general. Okay, so what will OR gate do? It will just add the inputs. So you'll get A plus B over here. Now A plus B will go as inputs to your NAND gate. Okay, and here you will get it will just take the product of the inputs and complement, right? For a NAND gate, it's A into B, the whole complement. So A plus B into A plus B, A plus B into A plus B, the whole complement. Okay, now I'll apply De Morgan's theorem over there, which simply says break the line, change the sign. Okay, break the line, change the sign. So you just break this line among these two terms and change the sign in between them. Okay, so you write it as A plus B the whole complement plus A plus B the whole complement. Okay, so break the line and change this dot sign to plus sign. Okay, now instead of writing it as 2 times A plus B the whole complement plus A plus B the whole complement, it will be same thing, right? You can actually compare it with your set theory. You can say that this is set P and this is also set P, right? Instead of plus, you can put a union side. Instead of dot, you can put an intersection sign. Okay, you can also solve it this way if you don't know the Boolean thing. Okay, anyways, here we'll get P union P, right? Here in this case we'll get P union P, which is nothing but P, right? Of course. So here what I mean to say is, instead of writing this as twice, you can write it as A plus B the whole complement only once, right? P union P is P. Okay, so we can write it only once, and this, if you know, is nothing but the Boolean algebra of your NOR gate, right? This is the Boolean algebra A plus B NOR, right? A plus B the whole complement is the Boolean algebra of your NOR gate. Okay, should I tell you a secret over here? Okay, I'll tell you, but this should remain between us. Okay, this gate over here, this is not NAND gate. This is not NAND gate, it is NOT gate. Don't believe me? Okay, take this gate out over here. Okay, so let's give it some output A. So sorry, some input A. So you'll get input A over here. What will it do? A into A into A the whole complement, right? Now A into A, you can simply see it as A intersection A. What is common between A and A? Nothing but A, right? So instead of this, you can simply write A complement. That is what I said. Whatever input you give, it will give you the complement of that. Okay, so this is not NAND gate. This is NOT gate. If you knew this fact earlier, the question was so simple. See, you have a OR gate and you have a NOT gate. OR gate, NOT gate, NOR gate. Okay, not soup. Nor you have OR gate and NOT gate. So you'll get the this combination will be a NOR gate. Okay, now remember that this is not a NAND gate, it is a NOT gate. Okay, we'll use it in the next question. When you combine the two terminals of NAND gate, it becomes a NOT gate. Okay, over to the next question. I hope this question is clear. Okay, Now question 10 over here, similar to question 9, just the level has increased. It is from the easy moderate category now. Okay, so just like in question 9, you were supposed to find what does the gate, the combination corresponds to. Here also you are supposed to do the same thing. You are given a combination, you are supposed to find to what gate does this combination correspond to. Okay, we can use the little secret that we discussed in the previous question. Okay, so we can consider this as not gate, right? These are our not gate, they are not NAND gate. Okay, this was our little secret over there. So if we give input A over here, the output that we'll get is A complement, right? And similarly, if we give input B over here, the output here will be B complement, right? Now A complement and B complement will become the input of this gate, and this gate is again a NAND one, so it will say product of the input and complement, right? So A complement into B complement, the whole complement. Okay, so the output over here will be product of the inputs and the whole complement, right? Now we are just supposed to solve this, so let's solve this. We'll get just use the De Morgan's theorem again. So break the line, change the sign. So A complement complement plus B complement complement. Okay, I just changed that sign. Now double complement is nothing but A itself, right? You might have learned it in set theory that A dash dash is A, right? So A complement complement is A and B complement complement is B. So A plus B, and this is nothing but the Boolean algebra of our OR gate, right? So option A, OR gate, is the correct question, correct answer. Sorry, this question was from 2014. Okay, let's move to the next question now. So question 11 over here, in this question we have a circuit with resistance and an ideal diode. We are supposed to comment on the potential difference across R, the resistance R. Okay, now this is a conceptual one. First of all, we can see it in reverse bias, that in reverse bias the current in the circuit will be 0, right? This diode will not allow any current to flow through the circuit, so the current in the circuit in case of reverse bias will be 0, right? Since the current is 0, the voltage drop across the resistance, which is equal to IR, is equal to 0. Because I is 0, the voltage drop across the resistance is 0. So in case of reverse bias, the voltage drop across the resistance is 0. So option A is incorrect, right? It won't be V in case of reverse bias. Okay, it will be 0 in case of reverse bias. If you see the forward bias case, some current will flow through the battery, right? And some current will flow in this circuit. The diode will allow current to flow through the circuit. The thing you can note is that the diode is an ideal diode, right? Which means that it won't have any resistance. Okay, so the resistance of the diode, okay, is 0. So all this potential should drop across this resistance. Okay, the idea is that since the resistance of the diode is 0, since it's an ideal diode, all of this voltage, okay, all of this potential difference which is there should drop across the resistance R. Okay, and that time V equals IR. This voltage will drop entirely across this resistance R. So in case of forward bias, the voltage drop, the potential across R will be V, right? So the potential drop across R will be V in case of forward bias, right? So option D is the correct one. This was a conceptual one. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which will be slightly based on this one. Okay, so question 12 over here also in this question you can see a circuit with resistance and a couple of diodes over there. Okay, so you are supposed to find the current in this circuit. First of all, see whether the current will flow or not. You can see that this diode is forward biased, right? It is connected to the positive side is connected to the positive terminal, and here the potential is 0. Okay, here it's earthing. Okay, so here the potential is 0 and this side the potential is something positive. Okay, so this diode is forward biased and this one is reversed biased. Okay, so you can see that the current will flow. Okay, so just the idea that we used in the previous question, we are going to use it over here as well. Okay, so we are going to say this entire potential is going to drop across this resistance. Okay, we can say that V this entire potential is going to drop across that resistance R. Okay, so we can say that V is equal to IR. Now we want to find I, which is V by R. The potential is 20 and the resistance, this entire potential 20 is going to drop across that resistance R, which is 2 into 10 to the power 3. Okay, so this and this will get cancelled, 10, and again that will be 10 into 10 to the power minus 3, right? So that will give us 10 milliampere. So 10 milliampere is the correct choice over here. Okay, just the previous concept we used over here. Since we have ideal diodes over here, first of all we found that current was flowing. Okay, current is not zero, this diode is forward biased, so current is flowing. Now this entire potential is going to drop across this resistance. This was the logic of previous question, okay, that we used. So I is equal to V by R, and we have our answer. Okay, over to the next question. Question 13 over here. In this question we are given a circuit. We are supposed to find the current I2 through this special type of diode. Do tell me which diode is this down in the comment section. Okay, so we are also given that the breakdown voltage of this diode is 15 volt. It acts as a voltage regulator. Okay, so that is your hint. So it acts as voltage regulator, so you have to find the current through it. Okay, so first of all, for it to act as a voltage regulator, the minimum voltage is 15 volts, right? So the voltage across these two ends should be 15 volts. Now this resistance is also in parallel to it, right? The resistance is parallel to it, so the voltage drop across this also will be 15, right? The voltage drop in parallel is the same, right? So the voltage drop across this resistor of 1 kilo ohms will be also 15. Okay, so we can write I1 is equal to V by R, 15 by R, which is 10 to the power 3, right? So we can say that I1 is 15 milliamperes. Okay, the aim over here is to find, so the approach over here is to find I1, then we'll find I. Okay, we'll find the total current, we'll find this current I1, which we have already found out, and then we'll use I is equal to I1 plus I2, right? This I equals I1 plus I2 using Kirchhoff's junction rule. Okay, I is equal to I1 plus I2, right? So I1 we already found out. Now let's find I, the total current. Now you can see that the voltage drop over here is 15 volts. We had in total 20 volts. Okay, so 15 volts is already wasted over there, right? On that resistor, 15 volt is already wasted over there, and we are left with 5 volt. Okay, so this 5 volt will drop across this resistance. Okay, I hope the idea is clear. Okay, the 15 volts are wasted over this resistor. We are left with 5 volts. Okay, 20 minus 15, we are left with 5 volts. This 5 volts will drop across this resistor. Okay, so we can find the total current by saying I is equal to V by R again. So here voltage will be 5. Okay, the voltage drop over here is 5, and divided by 250, right? V by R. So 1 by 50 is 1 by 50, 1 by 5 is 0.2, 0.20, 0.02. Okay, so I can say it as 20 milliampere. Okay, so this will be 0.02, which is 2 into 10 to the power minus 1, and I can write it as 20 into 10 to the power minus 3 amperes. So that will be 20 milliamperes. Okay, so we get the total current is 20 milliamperes. I1 is 15 amperes, so I2 will be nothing but I minus I1, which is 5 milliamperes. Okay, so that is your answer. I'll just sum up the process. First of all, we said that this, in order to function as a voltage regulator, the voltage across this should be 15 volts. Now this resistor is in parallel to that diode, so here also the voltage drop will be 15. Now we found out I1 using V by R. V is 15, right? The voltage drop over here is 15 divided by R, 1 kilo ohms. We got the answer as 15 milliamperes. Okay, and then we found out the total current I, right? How did we do that? Since 15 volts was already wasted over here, we are only left with 5 volt. The 5 volt drop will be across this resistor, right? So V by R again, so V which is 5 in this case, 5 voltage drop over here, and divided by R. Okay, we found out the value as 20 milliamperes. Then we use Kirchhoff junction rule. Okay, so 20 minus 15, I minus I1 will give us I2. So 20 minus 15 is 5 milliamperes. 5 milliamperes, D is the correct choice. Let's move to the moderate category now. Okay, so question 14 and question 15 will be from the moderate category, and then I'll give you your homework question, and then we'll wrap up with the class. Okay. So question 14 over here, similar to the questions that we discussed today. Here in this question we are given a combination of gates. We are supposed to find to what gate does this combination correspond to. Okay, so we can do it by two ways, 0-1 method or the Boolean algebra. Okay, since I am a fan of Boolean algebra, I'll do it by Boolean algebra. So okay, I'll choose A over here. Okay, A as the input and B as the input. Here also the input will be B, here also the input will be A. Right, now A undergoes a NOT operation, so we will get A complement. Now A complement and B undergoes AND operation. Right, this is an AND gate. Okay, so the AND gate will just multiply the inputs. Right, so it will just multiply A complement into B, A complement into B. Now this A complement into B and A will go into an OR gate. Okay, this will go as inputs into an OR gate. The OR gate will just add the two inputs, right? So A plus A complement into B. Now you can go ahead and apply the higher logics of Boolean algebra and solve this completely. Okay, but my Boolean algebra is dead over here. Okay, so I'm just going to resubstitute it in 0-1 format. Okay, I'll consider this as output. So I was just trying to show you that Boolean algebra can be used in a very flexible way. Okay, it can be either used to solve this problem completely, or it can be used to solve the problem partially. Okay, bring it to a point where wherein you can use 0 and 1 format now. Okay, so I'm comfortable with 0 and 1 now. So A and B are the inputs, and this will be our output, right? So let's consider the inputs as 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 0, right? So let's substitute the values over here and see what do we get. So 1 complement 0, so 0 into anything is 0, so this is 1, right? A is 1, we get 1. A is 1, again B is 0, so 0 into anything, that will be 0, this is 1, so we get 1 over here. Now 0, this is 0, this is 0 complement 1, and 1 into 1, right? 1 into 1, that will give us 1. Okay, 0 0, and here also we have 0, so that will be 0. And if you see, this is nothing but the truth table of our OR gate, right? 1 plus 1 1, 1 plus 0 1, 0 plus 1 1, 0 plus 0 0, right? So this is nothing but A plus B, right? So this is similar to Y equals A plus B, which is nothing but the Boolean formula for OR gate. So the answer over here, this combination corresponds to OR gate. Let us try one more of this sort, a little bit complex one, and then we'll end the class. Okay. So question 15 over here, the last question for the day. Here in this question, we are given a complex combination of gates. The question is the same. To what gate does this combination correspond to? Okay. Now you might use the 0-1 method over here, and that will be a complete mess. Okay, so the best approach over here is to use the Boolean algebra. Okay, so A over here, it will be also A over here. B over here, it will be B over here. Now A and B will go as inputs to this gate, and the output will be A into B the whole complement, NAND gate, right? A into B the whole complement. Now A into B the whole complement will go over here as input, and here also as input. Now A and A into B the whole complement goes at as inputs in this gate. So again, multiply the inputs and take the complement, right? So A into B the whole complement and take the complement. Multiply the inputs, take the complement. Here also multiply the inputs, B into A into B the complement. Wait, I'll write it over here. B into A into B the whole complement, again the whole complement. Okay, So B into A into B, the complement, the whole complement. Okay. Now again, this 2 will go as inputs in this gate, right? So you have to multiply this 2 and take the complement. Okay. So that's a hectic job, but let's do it. We'll reach the answer. So A into B, the complement, the whole complement, into, you multiply this with this, B into A into B, the complement, the whole complement, and now you have to take the whole complement, right? You multiply this 2 and take the whole complement. Now we have to use De Morgan's theorem for a series of times. Okay, so here break the line, change the sign. Okay, between these two terms, break the line, change the sign. Okay, so here you can see it will be A. Now here there will be double complement, right? I'll show you. Okay, so that will be A into A. I'll stop pronouncing it, it's difficult for me. Okay, so break the line, change the sign. Okay, so I just broke the line. Okay, and I'm changing this sign from dot to plus, and again here also B into A into B, the complement, again the complement. Okay, so here you can see double complement, so we can just remove it, right? So A complement is nothing but A. So in similar fashion, we can remove this complement. We can just write it as A into A into B, the complement, right, plus B into A into B, the complement. Okay, this is double complement, so we just remove it. Now again we can use the logic over here, De Morgan's theorem. Break the line, change the sign. That will be A into A complement plus B complement, right? Right. Break the line, change the sign. Again you do the same thing over here, B into A complement plus B complement. Okay, now just multiply this inside and you'll get your answer. That will be A into A complement, okay, and A into B complement plus B into A complement plus B into B complement. Okay, so you can see that A into A complement will be 0 and B into B complement will be 0. Why? Because, okay, use your set theory over here. You can say that A in place of dot, you can use intersection. A intersection A dash, of course, will be 0. What is common between A and not A? What is common between set A and not set A? Nothing, right? Empty. So this will be 0. That will be 0 to B into B complement will be 0. Okay, and you will be left with Y will be equal to, the output Y over here will be equal to A into B complement plus B into A complement, which is nothing but the Boolean algebra of your XOR gate, right? So you can also remember that this is a XOR gate. Okay, I know this is difficult to remember and also difficult to solve. Okay, so the answer that we get over here is, it is a XOR gate. This combination is a XOR gate. I'll give you your homework question. You can surely watch this question again if you are confused at this stage. Okay, I know it's very obvious to get confused over here. A lot of things are going on over here. So you can watch this, rewind this and watch it again. And if you are not, let's move to the next question, which will be your homework question. Okay. So question 16 over here, this is your homework question. You can pause and take a screenshot if you wish to try it later. Okay. So that's all for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, smash like, subscribe. I'll see you soon in the next class. Till then, keep enjoying physics.